Fabulous, fabulous car, presented at the Rolls-Royce Motor Show in 1948. Everyone admired, everyone was surprised by the beauty of this car, and I'll have you know that the Jaguar XK120 at its launch was the fastest car of its day, capable of well over 120 miles an hour, 134 I think it was at the time. But can you imagine in 1948 or 1949 doing 134 miles an hour in a Jaguar XK120? I know the car is capable, but you'd have to be a brave, brave driver at the time. It was all down to that fantastic Jaguar twin cam engine. As a matter of fact, the first time a company ever introduced a double twin cam engine into production, and it's the same engine that went on to win Le Mans. It's this fantastic 6-cylinder Jaguar engine used then in the C-Type and then in the D-Type. Probably one of the longest production engines. The drivetrain on this car is phenomenal, and the design as well was something that stunned the world when it was shown at the Rolls-Royce Motor Show in 1948.
Thank you, Max. No surprise, Scott. This is one Essence of Motoring Award. Congratulations. Thank you very much for bringing it. Well done. Well done.
Aston Martin DB Mark III, again, that's a DB. Now you see, when this car was produced, there was one very important styling feature that was then maintained with Aston Martin, with all future Aston Martin. If you see that moustache grille, you probably can't see it from behind, but the shape of the grille is something that then was kept with Aston Martin, and you still see today as a design feature in the Astons. Slightly different to the DB24, but still with this sort of notch-back shape that you see here. Very similar drivetrain and engine to the DB24, but the main feature, the main styling feature of this car was, again, this radiator grille, this particular shape that Aston Martin has kept, and kept on its race cars. Don't forget, Aston Martin, this is the time when they were all fighting at Le Mans. Le Mans was the biggest race of the year, and actually Aston Martin went on to win Le Mans in this period. Again, always recalling this styling feature of the front nose grille. Thank you for bringing the Mark III. Very kind of you, beautiful car. We talked about the E-Type. This is the racing version of the E-Type that we saw before. An exact sort of a copy of the lightweight E-Types. This is when Jaguar decided to go racing, and was racing against cars like the Ferrari 250 GTO. You may have seen in the press that a GTO recently sold at auction for 35 or 36 million pounds. Well, to give you an idea, these cars, these were the Jaguars that were racing against those Ferraris at the time. This was Jaguar's answer. So to be lighter, they chose a roadster instead of the coupe, and then put a hardtop on the car. And look at the difference in the wheel arches and the wheels. To go racing, the wheels got bigger, more power, removed the bumpers, aluminium bonnets, aluminium tubs to keep the car as light as possible. And very few of the cars were actually produced. They were very expensive at the time and raced with extreme success. This is a Lynx E-Type, so built to exactly the same specification as the lightweight E-Types would have been in the period by a Jaguar specialist. And it's just the meanest, baddest, and certainly the fastest Jaguar E-Type that you can get. Thank you very much for bringing the car, Michael.
Nice shot on this.
Well, you will all recognize this car. Aston Martin 1965 DB5. I will go as far as to say this is the most famous car in the world. Hopefully you all recognize after I've said that. Obviously, famous because of James Bond. Everyone thinks of Goldfinger and James Bond when looking at the Aston DB5, that silver birch DB5 with the guns, the gadgets, the ejectable seat. The DB5 became a real icon after that movie. It was a fabulous car, of course, still at the time. And this, the evolution of the DB4 that you saw before. And with the evolution, you see it's gained faired-in headlights, aerodynamic. It was a little bit prettier. And you can see, though, we still have that radiator, the shape of the opening for the radiator carried over from the Mark III. So, DB5, the Aston, I still think one of the most famous cars in the world.
So am I on, Max?
Okay, do you want me to keep talking? I didn't want to bore you.
No, we're admiring her, actually. We're all standing up because who doesn't want to own a DB5? Seriously, I mean, these poster pin-up cars, 30 years, 40 years ago for me, it's the car that, to be frank, you know, we used to dream about owning, and unfortunately, Max, it's still a dream for me.
If you work hard, you can get there. Go on, keep trying.
This is one class winner, Hutton. Congratulations, we're delighted for you guys. You've done a wonderful job of that, and thank you for bringing her. And more amazing, I think, is the two guys squeezed in the back.
They can't wait to get out. Everyone wants to own one, but the two people in the back can't wait to get out.
In fact, I've never seen someone more happy to receive a magnum of Pommery champagne than the trophy itself. But anyway, the passenger's very happy.
I'm beginning to think you should just give everyone champagne instead of trophies.
Well, Pommery goes a long, long way, you know, Max.
Thank you very much, well done. Thank you for bringing the Aston Martin DB5. Fabulous looking car. Well done. There we go. How is it that we've got the biggest car in the Concours and there's no one riding with him, and the DB5 about 17 people tried to squeeze in? How did that happen? We must get some young ladies to sit in the back with you. Yeah, oh, there we go, he said yes. Ladies and gentlemen, 1967 Rolls-Royce Phantom V, probably the most luxurious Rolls-Royce ever built. I think one of the best post-war Rolls-Royces, that is for sure. And it was the preferred car for royalty all over the world. Not only the Queen, but all over the world. People would aspire to have a car like this. Famously, you may remember, John Lennon had a Phantom V, which, of course, he proceeded to paint in some very psychedelic colours. But the level of detail and the quality of build of this car for 1967 is truly unbelievable. One of the lovely features I see is that the front seats, the driver's seats, are leather, and the rear compartment is actually in cloth. Well, that is because cloth was considered to be a lot more luxurious. The Queen certainly wouldn't sit on leather, but on the finest silk or the finest cloth, which you'll find in the back of this Rolls-Royce Phantom V. I would say that it is the best post-war Rolls-Royce today. I don't think that even a modern Phantom comes close to the build quality and the opulence of something like this.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, Max, as well, the one car that can take 8 people has got none in it.
Exactly.
And the DB5 had 4 guys in it, but there you go. You've won 2 awards today here in Salon Prive. Congratulations. Best Interior, which is no surprise to any of the judges, and also your class runner-up. So congratulations with your 2 awards.
And then we found one that
Our judges obviously have good taste that they've chosen a car with a cloth interior, you see. Thank you very much for bringing it. It is absolutely magnificent. So quiet as well. The cabinets inside, everything about it. Even the number plate's fantastic.